The slap cracked through the courtroom like a gunshot. For half a second, the entire room forgot how to breathe. My wife, Rebecca Vale, stood frozen, her cheek already burning red. Across from her, Scarlett Crowe, the self-crowned empress of Maple Grove HOA, was still mid-motion, fingers trembling in the air like she just shocked herself. 3 minutes later, the bailiff snapped cuffs around Scarlett's wrists. 5 minutes after that, Rebecca walked up and sat in the judge's chair. Yeah, let that sink in. I'm Daniel Vale, regular guy, builder, fix your shelf, lend you my tools type. When we moved into Maple Grove, it looked perfect. Quiet streets, polite waves, kids on bikes, that fake suburban peace they sell in real estate ads. Then Scarlett Crowe arrived. Red lipstick, pearls, clipboard, smile so fake it felt illegal. She showed up our second night like she owned the asphalt. Trash bins must be hidden, fence color is non-compliant, and those herb boxes, very off-brand. Off-brand, like our house was a product. At first we laughed, big mistake. Within a week the fines started. Leaves on the lawn, bench not aligned with community tone, mailbox reflecting poorly on neighborhood identity. Then came the real one. Rebecca built a small wheelchair ramp so her mom could visit. Safe, clean, legal. Scarlett labeled it unauthorized structure. That's when Rebecca stopped laughing. She started a folder. Every letter, every fine, every threat. Dated, filed, logged. While Scarlett strutted around terrorizing the whole block, my wife was quietly building a case that would end her entire existence. And Scarlett had no idea she was already standing on her own grave. Scarlett Crowe didn't just run the HOA, she hunted with it. Every morning, like clockwork, she'd patrol Maple Grove in her white SUV, sunglasses on, coffee in one hand, clipboard in the other, circling houses like a debt collector with a god complex. And she never came alone. Susan Blake, the widow down the street, got fined for hanging wind chimes. Noise pollution. Marcus Reed, a retired Marine, was threatened with a lawsuit because his flagpole was too aggressive. A college girl named Talia, just renting a basement, got warnings for improper emotional conduct because she parked slightly crooked. That one wasn't even a real rule. Scarlett invented violations the way other people invented excuses. The neighborhood hated her, but nobody spoke up because Scarlett didn't just issue fines, she issued fear. She'd whisper words like foreclosure, liens, legal action until people paid just to make her disappear. Then, one Saturday morning, she came to our house with two board members and a smile so sharp it felt rehearsed. Mr. and Mrs. Vale, she announced loud enough for half the street to hear, you now owe $12 in cumulative violations. Pay within 72 hours or the HOA will initiate property seizure. Property seizure. Over leaves. And a wheelchair ramp. I nearly lost it. But Rebecca just squeezed my hand and whispered, good, she finally said it out loud. That night, Rebecca closed her thick folder and said 3 words that changed everything. We're suing her. Not the HOA. Her. Personally. And the moment the court clerk saw the stack of evidence, hundreds of pages signed by Scarlett herself, his smile faded. Because this wasn't a complaint anymore. It was a dossier. And Scarlett Crowe had just walked straight into her own execution. If you're enjoying this story so far, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And tell us in the comments where you're watching from. The day of the hearing felt wrong from the start. Not quiet, not tense, heavy. Like the air itself was waiting for blood. Scarlett Crowe arrived in a crimson blazer, heels clicking across the courthouse floor like she was walking a red carpet instead of into judgment. She didn't sit in the defendant's seat. She claimed it, crossing her legs, smirking at everyone like this was a reality show, and she was the star. The judge, Hunter Marcus Reynolds, called the case. Vale versus Crowe. From the first minute, Scarlett couldn't shut up. She interrupted our lawyer, rolled her eyes at the judge, whispered insults about Rebecca under her breath. Finally, she stood up without permission. Your Honor, these people are a cancer on our community. They don't belong in Maple Grove. Gasps rippled through the room. Rebecca didn't react. Not even a blink. Just calm. Watching. Our lawyer began presenting the evidence, photos of violations, fines for pine cones, warnings for flower colors, threat letters about wheelchair access. The courtroom started murmuring. The judge's face shifted from neutral to disturbed. Then came the money. Our lawyer pulled bank statements. Thousands in HOA fines that never hit the HOA account. They went straight into Scarlett Crowe's personal bank. Scarlett snapped. That's none of your business. The judge slammed the gavel. It is now. That's when Scarlett fully lost control. She pointed at Rebecca, shaking. She's been plotting against me from day one. She's manipulative, dangerous. She's trying to destroy me. Rebecca finally spoke. Soft, calm. You're doing that yourself. Laughter broke out. Scarlett's face twisted. Something inside her broke. And that's when she stood up and walked straight toward my wife. Scarlett didn't even hesitate. She crossed the aisle in 3 furious steps, eyes wild, jaw shaking, and before anyone could react, her hand cracked across Rebecca's face. The sound was sickening, sharp, public, final. The courtroom froze. For one heartbeat, nobody moved. Then the bailiff lunged. Scarlett was dragged back, screaming, thrashing like a cornered animal. You think you're better than me? You think you can humiliate me? I stood up, ready to destroy her, but Rebecca raised one hand, not angry, not crying, just steady. She slowly brushed her hair back, the red mark on her cheek glowing under the courtroom lights. Then she looked straight at Scarlett and said quietly, "That wasn't power. That was fear." The judge's voice thundered. "Miss Crowe, you are in contempt of court. Bailiff, restrain her." Scarlett laughed hysterically. "You can't do this to me. I run this community." That's when Judge Reynolds leaned toward the clerk and whispered something. The clerk checked a file, looked at Rebecca, went pale. The judge cleared his throat. "This court now recognizes Mrs. Vale, not only as plaintiff, but as a federal judicial officer." The room exploded. Whispers, gasps, phones coming out. Scarlett's face drained of color. "You're lying," she screamed. "This is a setup." Rebecca finally stepped forward. "I never used my position. I wanted this to be fair. But you committed fraud, harassment, and assault in open court." She turned and sat in the judge's chair, not as my wife, as her judge. The evidence rolled in. Susan, Marcus, Talia, bank transfers, videos, threat recordings. Scarlett's empire collapsed in real time. The verdict was simple. Removed from office, charged with fraud, charged with assault, banned from Maple Grove. As she was led out in cuffs, pearls crooked, blazer wrinkled, she looked smaller than I'd ever seen her. Not a queen. Just a bully. Bully. Finally exposed. If this story opened your eyes, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from, because sometimes the most dangerous tyrants don't wear crowns. They carry clipboards.